Hi there, I'm Sylvia Azania, and today we're going to explore how to interpret the results of a seminogram. We will discuss which parameters are evaluated in a seminogram, how to read the semen analysis, and the possible abnormalities in the results. And we will also answer the most frequently asked questions that users may have in relation to this particular topic. The World Health Organization indicates the parameters that should be evaluated in the seminogram. Moreover, it establishes a set of reference values, which are now referred to as decision limits, and these can suggest the possible need for diagnosis or treatment. Although the World Health Organization has published an update of the Laboratory Manual for Semen Examination and Processing in 2021, constituting what is known as the 6th edition of the manual, the fact is that it is most common to stick to the criteria of the 5th edition corresponding to 2010. The tests performed on the seminal sample during the seminogram can be classified into macroscopic and microscopic. The macroscopic analysis of semen involves examining certain characteristics of the ejaculate with the naked eye without having to resort to a microscope. Here are some of the most significant points. Seminal volume is expressed in milliliters. It would be considered appropriate when the semen sample has a volume greater than 1.5 milliliters. Semen liquefaction. The ejaculate should be left to liquefy naturally for approximately 30 minutes so the study can be performed. That is, it must be completely liquid. If it hasn't been blended in 30 minutes, it should be noted in the report. Semen color. The color of the semen is yellowish gray. A different opacity or shade may indicate certain conditions. For example, a sample that presents a reddish-brown hue may be an indication of the presence of red blood cells. Viscosity. A drop is released with a pipette, and it is observed whether threads form due to increased viscosity. pH value. Normally, semen has a pH between 7.2 and 8. Regarding microscopic analysis, the focus is on examining various aspects of sperm with the aid of a microscope. Concentration of the spermatozoa. A count of the sperm cells is carried out. The sperm count must exceed 15 million per milliliter or reach a total of at least 39 million in total per ejaculate. Motility or mobility of the spermatozoa. The percentage of motile sperm present in the sample is analyzed, as well as their movement pattern, whether progressive or non-progressive. A sample demonstrates adequate sperm motility when over 40% of its spermatozoa are active and more than 32% are moving progressively forward. The vitality of the sperm. There are several tests to distinguish between live and dead sperm in the ejaculate. Urine staining, hyposmotic test. For a semen sample to be considered completely normal in terms of sperm vitality, more than 58% of the sperm must be alive. Morphology of spermatozoa. The shape of the sperm is evaluated and analyzed to see if they have any abnormalities. At least 4% of the spermatozoa must exhibit a normal shape in order for the sample to be considered normal in accordance of sperm morphology. Presence of leukocytes in the sample. A count of round cells is made and they appear in quantity under the microscope. There should be a maximum of 1 million leukocytes per milliliter. A higher amount would be indicative of infection. If you want a more detailed explanation of the macroscopic and microscopic parameters of the semen analysis, I recommend reading the article I've linked in the description. Considering all of the above will greatly help in interpreting the results of the semen analysis. In this manner, one could form a rough idea of whether the semen sample could exhibit any alterations. Nevertheless, the interpretation of the semen analysis results should be carried out by a specialist. Before continuing with the content of this article, I would like to kindly request that if you are enjoying it, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, since you help us to continue and to make all the information we share reach more people. When the report containing the semen analysis results is received from the laboratory, it is important to carefully consider some recommendations in order to understand those results. The reference values, decision limits from the WHO usually appear on the right side of the result and in parentheses. The concentration of spermatozoa is expressed in millions per milliliter. Sperm motility, morphology, and vitality are expressed as percentages. It is possible that the units of measurement or reference values change depending on the laboratory in case the seminogram is repeated at another clinic. The WHO's current decision limits are the ones published in year 2021, although on numerous occasions the reference criteria established in year 2010 are still used. And as a guide to help you interpret the results of your seminogram, I am providing the link to our useful tool in the description below. If all the obtained results meet the established reference value, known as the decision limit, then the semen sample is considered normal. This is referred as normozoospermia. In the event that any of the parameters studied in the seminogram are abnormal, some of the possible alterations that could be present are the following: azoospermia, absence of spermatozoa in the ejaculate; oligospermia, low concentration of spermatozoa; asthenozoospermia, problems with the mobility of the spermatozoa; teratozospermia, low percentage of spermatozoa with normal morphology; necrospermia, a large number of dead spermatozoa; hypospermia, low seminal volume. There may also be combined alterations such as oligoasthenoteratozospermia. Based on the affected seminal parameters and their severity, a man might face varying levels of difficulty in achieving natural conception with his partner. Nonetheless, if these challenges occur, assisted reproductive technologies may assist in achieving pregnancy. And now we are going to answer some of the most common questions that the users might have regarding this subject. How long does it take to get the results of a seminogram? A seminogram is a relatively quick and simple test, and results may be ready on the same day. Nevertheless, fertility clinics usually take about 2 or 3 days to provide the complete, full, detailed report. It may depend on the actual workload of each center. We would love to hear about your experience, so I encourage you to share it with us in the comments.